Welcome to our email and SMS marketing platform. Whether you want to grow your online store, keep your contacts in the loop, get more attendees to your event, or build loyalty, we've got the tools you need to create success. Our platform is secure, reliable, and your contact data stays in Australia, which is why we're the platform of choice for tens of thousands of small businesses, government departments, universities and large corporations in Australia, New Zealand, and around the world. One quick note before we get started, if you're watching this video in our support centre, you'll find a list of useful links below, which will link off to full how-to guides on each topic we cover, so you can always refer to it later if you need to. You'll also find that we've broken this video into different chapters, so feel free to skip sections if required. This is the dashboard, the first screen you'll see after logging in. Over on the left, we have the sidebar, which gives you access to the various core functions of our platform, and we'll run through most of these for you in this video. Here on the main part of the screen, you can see a series of task cards to help you get started. There's also an overview of your account, a reporting summary, and a marketing calendar to help your team collaborate. Speaking of teams, our platform works best when you've got your whole marketing or comms team on board. Inviting colleagues into the platform is easy, and you can invite as many users as you like. To do so, click the cogwheel icon as shown, then select Users from the sidebar. Here you can add users and set their access levels. Refer to our linked guide below for more information on users and different access levels. In this chapter, we'll cover lists, forms, and contacts. Let's start with a bit of an overview as to how these are all linked. A contact is someone you can email or SMS, and a list is just a group of contacts. You can have as many lists as you like. For example, a customers list, a VIPs list, and a staff list. Of course, you can also put all of your contacts into one big list if you like. This is great if you prefer a clean system without duplicates and a single source of truth. And because you can have or make almost unlimited fields against your contact records, you can use these extra fields to tag or segment your contact into all kinds of different groups. You could make a VIP field to tag your VIP contacts, a staff field to tag your internal team, and so on. That way, you can still work out who's who and send the right messages to the right people. Before we jump in, it's always a good idea to get an understanding of how to put contacts in the platform. Method 1 is by creating a form and putting it on your website for people to fill in, thus subscribing the new contact to your list. Method 2 is by importing a spreadsheet of contacts. And method 3 is by connecting a third-party app or system through an integration or our API and then syncing the contacts across that way. More on that last one in a future chapter, but for now we'll start with making a blank list with a few basic fields. If you already have a list and want to know how to import it, you may wish to skip ahead a minute or two and we'll come back to you shortly. So let's say you don't have any contacts yet. After all, you might be a brand new business. We'll start here in the Lists and Forms section and create a new list. A number of pre-built list templates are shown. These allow you to quickly create a blank list with a series of fields already made for you. Let's use the basic one shown here. It'll give us a first name and email field, but you can always add more later. Once created, we can click through to the subscribe form and begin customizing it. You can change the colors here as shown, and you can also add more fields or questions here. Let's add a new field for dietary and set a few options for the user to choose from. This will allow us to personalize the email in the next chapter of the video. You can also edit individual fields by clicking on them and adjusting the settings. Double-clicking within a text area lets you change the wording and adjust the formatting options. You can also insert images such as your logo as shown. Rearranging or removing fields from your form is also possible. Once your form looks the way you like, you can use the code shown here to add or embed this form onto your website. Now, whenever someone fills it in, they'll get subscribed to your list as a new contact. In this next section, we'll look at importing contacts. Feel free to skip ahead to the next chapter if you don't have any contacts yet and thus have nothing to import. Select Lists and Forms from the sidebar, then click Import Contacts. Ensure the Upload a File option is selected and give your new list a name. Next, click Browse to locate the spreadsheet file on your computer that has all of the contacts you'd like to upload. We recommend that this spreadsheet has column headings or header rows in it, so you can easily identify which field is which. Click Next. Our system will scan your file, then display a preview. In this view, you'll see all your spreadsheet columns along the top of the page, with the relevant contact data underneath. As you can see, this spreadsheet has a few columns in it, but this will be a bonus for us because we can use all of this data to really personalize our messages and build our own contact segments too. If your spreadsheet did have those column headings, our system will use those to make new fields for you. So basically, each column in your spreadsheet will get its own field in our system. Run your eye over the column headings shown in the preview. If any are labeled incorrectly, you can click the heading to edit it. Once everything is set up correctly, click Finish Importing. When done, you'll be able to view your contacts to make sure everything has been imported correctly. Great job, you've now imported your contacts. You can repeat this process if you've got more than one list. Now, although we covered this earlier for those who didn't have any contacts to import, remember that you can get into Forms view by double-clicking on your list. Even if you don't intend to use the Forms function, at a bare minimum, it's probably still worth checking out your unsubscribed form and adjusting the appearance of it if you need to, like this before and after example. And if you have more than one list, remember to repeat this process for each list you have, because each list has its own set of forms. Speaking of unsubscribes, these are handled for you automatically. Our system adds an unsubscribe link to the bottom of every email for you, and if someone does click it, this is the form they'll see. So again, it might be worth just checking it out to make sure it looks the way you like. Now that your lists and contacts are sorted, it's time to look at messages. Messages are the emails and SMSs that you create to send to your contacts. These can be personalized with information you know about your contacts, such as using their first name in the SMS or email text, as well as in the email subject if you like. Personalizing an email will generally increase its open rate, engagement rate, and click-throughs. Personalization can also be a little more dynamic, in that you can change parts of an email based on contact data. That way your email is dynamic and almost hyper-personalized, but you're still only building one version of each email. Effort goes down, engagement goes up. We'll provide a detailed example of this later on in this chapter, but for now, let's get started with messages. Here in the Messages section, you'll see an overview of all emails and SMS messages that have been made and saved in the system. If your account is a new one, this space will be empty for the time being. In my case, you'll see we've also got folders along the top here to keep everything neat and tidy. We'll very quickly start off by making a new SMS message. Select the SMS option and enter your mobile number. This is only used to send a verification code for new users. Once verified, you can jump right in and type your message. Wildcards, like the contact's first name and any other fields you have, can also be inserted. Emojis are supported too. When you're good to go, use the Send button to send this message to your desired contact list. If you don't have sufficient SMS credits, you can purchase these in the account area, or see the guide linked below for more details. Returning to the Messages area, let's now build an email message. Shown here is our huge gallery of email templates that you have access to. Pretty much everything about them can be edited, including the logos, text, images, colors, and so on. Sections can be duplicated, added, or removed to suit the needs of your email. You can also start off with a blank slate if you'd prefer. We'll use this colourful food-themed template as our starting point today. With the template selected, it's now ready to edit here in our drag and drop email editor. Let's begin by replacing the logo with our own. Double-click the existing logo to open the Files and Images library. You can use the Upload button to import logos, images and photos from your computer, but I'll navigate to one of my existing folders here on the side to insert our company logo. Next up in this template is what we call a web links component. This is like a bit of a menu to key or common pages on your website. I'll edit this here to replace the locations link with the word stores. You can also edit where these links go using the various icons as shown. Of course, if you don't want to use a web links component, you can always remove it. Next, we'll swap out the banner image by double-clicking on it. We've got a huge stock library built into the system, so let's search in here for the word food. Now, I really want to use this photo because, well, French toast, and who doesn't like French toast? but it's going to be a bit tall in the email. People will have to scroll a bit to see the text, so why don't we crop it? It's pretty easy as you can see, and that looks good. Let's apply our changes and save it. Nice. Now we can double click on the text area to enter editing mode. You can type or paste in your text as desired, and the usual font and formatting tools are provided here on the floating toolbar. But I'll draw your attention to two popular features. First, the link tool. Highlight your desired text and insert a link. Here you can link to a website, Facebook page, email address, or a document like a PDF file that you've uploaded into the Files and Images library. You can even link to a form that you've made over in the Forms section. The Add to Calendar reminder function is great too. The second feature I'd like to draw your attention to is the wildcard dropdown. This lets you insert personalized information into your email, like your contact's first name. As mentioned earlier, a personalized email will generally get more opens and clicks than a generic one, so it's always a great idea to do so if you have the data available. Further down in our email message, you'll see we've got two columns. Columns are easy to make. Just drag one component next to another, and you've got columns. Easy as that. You'll notice that these existing columns in the template have an image and a call to action button attached to them, but you can disable these by toggling them over here as shown. In fact, any text block in your email has these available to turn on or off depending on what you need. There's also a title here at the top. Of course, if you want to keep them turned on, you can adjust all kinds of settings as shown. Image position, size, button text and link, fonts, colors and more. Let's fast forward and make a few edits to suit our bakery email. There we go. Now, if you think back to the last chapter, we added a question to our subscribe form where the contact could select their dietary preference. Let's use that data to our advantage. After all, if a gluten-free reader gets this email, they might unsubscribe because there's potentially nothing in here for them. I'm going to set it up so that this first article changes just for our gluten-free readers. This feature is called conditional content. We'll start by clicking on the component that we want to make dynamic. Then go to the conditional content panel as shown. Let's add a condition for our gluten-free contacts. There we go. Now you'll see that we have two versions of this component, and I can flick between them with ease. With the gluten-free variant selected, I can now change the image, update the text, and even change what the button says and where it goes. Remember, these changes will only appear for our gluten-free readers. Everyone else sees the default version. Pretty cool, hey? It's all about making your emails hyper-personalized so that they resonate with your contacts. This gets them interested in your offering and thus more likely to engage or convert. I could now repeat the process for, say, the vegetarian contacts on our list. You can actually add up to 5 different conditions to each component in your email. With our email built, we can now save it as a template so that you and your colleagues can build a similar email much faster next time, or just save it as a message that we can send at some point in the future. With our message saved and a subject entered, let's quickly preview it. The preview function is great because it previews it with your real contact list. That way you can make sure all of your personalizations are working, as you can see when I flick through my contact list. There's also a mobile preview. Next, it might be a good idea to send a test email to yourself or a colleague. Enter the email address or addresses that you'd like to send the test to, and enable commenting if you'd like your colleagues to leave feedback on your email. If you don't receive the test email in your work inbox, it might be because your IT systems are blocking it. You can search our support center for the phrase "test not coming through" to find our solutions guide. Your IT team will need to assist in fixing this, but you could always try sending the test to your personal email address for now if you like. When you're ready to go, click the Send button. Here you can set the from details and adjust the subject one last time. A/B testing of the subject is also supported. This is a great feature to ensure the best possible version of your email is the one that goes to the bulk of your contact list. Next, select who's going to receive the email. You can choose your entire list or a segment of contacts by using the search tool as shown. Here we'll select just contacts in the state of Queensland. Scheduling is also available, as is posting the email on social media. Check out the linked guide below for more details. When you're ready to send your email, click the button provided and off it goes. Phew, okay, that was a lot to cover in just one chapter. But remember, we have individual how-to guides on everything I just showed you, including many with step-by-step videos. If you're a detail-oriented person and love tweaking everything to the max, be sure to search our support center for the phrase Email Design Best Practices for an awesome white paper on this. It also covers a range of topics pertaining to accessibility and supporting those with vision impairments. We've linked it for you in the accompanying content below this video. Reporting is an important part of any marketing campaign. After all, if you don't know how your emails are doing, how can you ensure you're reaching your contacts with relevant and useful content? Each email send gets its own report, and the reporting section is where you'll find them. Double-click on the email you'd like to view the report for. Here you'll see all kinds of data such as opens, clicks, unsubscribes, unopens and more. You can click on these numbers to see the granular data. There's also a click map report, which shows a heat map overlay on your email based on link clicks. The bigger the spot, the more people clicked. It's a great way to see what content is resonating with your readers. By the way, you can share this report with colleagues or your manager if required. Automations are perfect for automating things. With this powerful tool at your disposal, you can email or SMS contacts when they join your list. You can change the data stored on file when a contact opens or clicks a link in an email. You can send pre- and post-event comms and surveys. You can even lead score a nurture series. I guess it's one of those things where it depends on what you'd like to do, but in this chapter I'll show you a quick example of how to automatically email or SMS a contact after they subscribe to your list. By the way, if you're after an automation for a specific use case, we welcome you to search our support center for the phrase Automation Example to view the growing library of examples. Here in the Automations section, we'll start by building our own, but you'll see quite a few other examples here on the screen, which might suit your needs too. In this first step, we'll tell the system about our trigger. In other words, what will trigger the automation to start. In our particular example, it's the subscribe event. Next, we'll select the list that we want to monitor for new subscribers. Here in step 3, we can choose what message to send when this occurs. It can be an email or an SMS. We'll select a welcome email that we've pre-designed. And finally, you can set when you'd like the system to send it. Adding a delay is great if you want to set up a series of emails to send over time. Basically, you'd steadily increase the timing as you add extra steps to your automation. But in this case, we just want to send one welcome email and have it send straight away. Save and we're done. Now, each time someone subscribes to your list by filling in your subscription form, the system will send them your chosen message. As mentioned earlier, if you have a specific automation use case, we probably have a step-by-step example for it. Visit our support center or use the links under this video for more details. Integrations are a great way to expand the use of the platform. For example, you can connect Google Analytics to see which emails drive contacts to your website and then track what they do from there. Facebook Business is a great one if you run ads on the Meta advertising network and you want to send specific contact audiences into their platform for then targeting them with ads. Zapier is another great one worthy of mention. It's a third-party platform that lets you connect our system to thousands of other apps for syncing contact data and more. We've also got a fully featured API in case you want to build your own integrations. For more about these individual integrations, search our support center or use the link provided in the relevant section below this video. Our events function makes it easy to manage your pre- and post-event comms so that you can keep in touch with your contacts and convert them to attendees. And we have 2 methods to help you work with events in our platform. Firstly, you can connect to Eventbrite and sync your events across. This also brings over your attendee data in real time as people register for your Eventbrite events. The second method is via our own events module, which is best for events that don't have ticket limitations or a financial component. Regardless of the method you use, both will let you send one-off batch messages as well as a whole series of automated event emails and SMS messages like this sample workflow illustrates. For today's video, we'll show you how to create events in our own platform. If the Eventbrite integration is more your thing, be sure to check out our support center for the full how-to guide. Here on the dashboard, locate the Events panel and click to create a new one. Enter the event details and add an image. You can also add a link to the event information page, such as a landing page to promote the event and speakers in more detail, as well as a link to the registration page. The registration page is where contacts can register to attend your event. This can again be a page on your website containing one of our embedded web forms, or you can just link directly to the web form if you like. Finally, set whether you wish to make a new contact list specifically for this event. What you do here depends on how you run your event comms. Choosing to make a new list for each event is probably the best option if you run a lot of events and want to keep everything separate and isolated, so we'll choose this option. Now that the event's been created, we can promote it to our contacts. You can use the button provided to create a fully customizable email that's pre-filled with your event data, or open any existing email or template and drag in an event component. This second option is best if you have existing templates or an existing look and feel you'd like to use. From an automation point of view, you can also quickly create a series of event messages for pre- and post-event comms. Simply click over to Automations and create a new Events automation. Select your event and our platform will create a series of email and SMS messages for it, each with different timings, though they can all be adjusted or disabled if required. If you need to view or edit these new messages that the system has made for you, you can find them over here in the Messages section. As you can see, we've kept them fairly simple out of the box, but as always, they're fully customizable, and they make use of wildcards to automatically insert your event data and imagery for you, but of course you can always go in and change them. For more details, be sure to check out our support center for our various step-by-step guides on these processes. One thing we would highly recommend doing before you send any email is configuring your domain. Let's take a look at this explainer video to learn more about how it works and why it's important. Email marketing platforms like ours are essentially sending emails on your behalf. Without email authentication, your recipient's email system will see your message and wonder why it's coming from a third party, that's us, essentially pretending to be you. Now, some servers don't mind this and will let your email through. But increasingly, in a bid to combat spam, many email servers around the world will reject an unauthenticated email and either block it, delete it, or mark it as spam. In other words, your recipient probably won't even see it. On the flip side, if you do use authenticated email, mail servers that you send to will see that permission has been granted and that we are allowed to send email on your behalf, and are much more likely to let your message through. If getting your emails out of the junk folder and into the inbox sounds good to you, then let's take a look at how to set it up. To do so, visit the Account Settings area as shown, then go to the Domains section. Here you can add your domain, that is, anything after the @ sign in the email address that you want to send from. Our system will walk you through this process, but note that you will need to send some codes to your IT team, or set them up in your domain provider's DNS settings area if you have access yourself. Once set up and verified, you'll now be able to send from that domain. One other thing I'll quickly take you through is upgrading from a trial account. You can do so by clicking the button at the top right. Select your plan, enter your payment details, and you're good to go. Remember, marketing is an evolving beast, so be sure to keep up with the latest trends by reviewing the content in our support center from time to time, and always make the time to view your reporting data so you can see what works, what doesn't, adapt and evolve. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of the video. Thanks for your time over the last little while. We really hope you enjoyed seeing everything our platform has to offer. If you're watching this in our support center, don't forget to try our guides below for more information, or reach out to the support team if you have any questions. Thanks again.